Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of the series. It's actually going to be a 3-part series. So part 1 of the story, this is the second part of the story. And then the next video is going to be like a day in the life with me, a day in recovery, something like that. I haven't decided yet what it's going to be called. But I just wanted to say to everyone, thanks so much for the support on my first video and everyone who reached out to me and people who called or came to see me or everything. Like, you guys really touched my heart and made me feel really loved and supported, and people that I haven't talked to in years came out to support me and just say nice things to me. So I really appreciate that. If you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and do so, just so you're not confused of what I'm talking about. Also, in that video I realized there are a lot of events and things like that that I missed, but I gave the overall story. So if some things don't make sense and if it seems like it jumped from one thing all the way to another, like first you had a stomach ache and then now all of a sudden they're talking about you're not gonna make it. Like, yeah, I just jumped through some events. Some things are still very blurry in my mind. I don't remember a lot of stuff, but the things that I do talk about in the video I have confirmed with my mom, so I know that they happened. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for the support. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, everything, and I will see you guys in my next video. So I get it if you're going through something and you need help, or I forgot where it was. So I'm still throwing up bile.
Alright guys, so we just got over a little,
I threw up bile.
yeah, I was gonna say a little like attack or some shit, but I didn't know what to say.
Because my gallbladder was bad, it created a lot of bile, like in my stomach and my intestines. So now, just randomly, I'll just throw up bile.
And this is how she gets after. She looks a lot better. She's a little more energetic. She's talking to me more, but she just looks really tired, like out of it. Not necessarily out of it, but just ready for a nap.
Yeah, and then I'll just start spurting out random food that I want.
Yep, like she just told me that she wanted Einstein bagels.
Yeah, I want eggs with rice and ketchup. And I want the Einstein bagel, the one that has the bacon, egg whites, and the tomatoes. But I can't have tomatoes because the red sauce will set off my gastritis. So here we are, just dreaming about it.
She also said she wanted the Subway sandwich. So.
Got my sandwich, by the way, if you're wondering. Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
Either one with chips.
Kind of chips.
Connie House.
Ooh.
Korean barbecue. I want the Waffle House burger that had the bacon Angus burger with the hash browns.
She also wants to get her breath back right away, but we're still working on that too. She doesn't realize that she can't be saying full paragraphs and reciting novels and shit while she's like this, but day by day.
I just have a lot to say. I get like an hour of energy a day and I just let it all out.
Except for at night. When she eats at night and I call her when I get home, she'll usually sit there and just be like, oh yeah, I feel up. I feel like I'm gonna stay up until 3 a.m. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
So tiny, like when I eat, because I haven't eaten a lot in the past like 2 months. That's how I lost 30 pounds. So I look like a skeleton. But when I eat, it's usually at night when my mom comes home. And it makes me tired like immediately. I get like, and then like 10 minutes later I'm like, bing, 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 and then I crash. Yeah.
See, this is her face post vomit.
Kind of gross, but it is what it is. I need to get it all out, but that's why they took out my gallbladder, because it was creating a lot of bile.
I don't know if you saw earlier, but she was kind of like out of it. Not necessarily out of it, but kind of like spacious. Like she just kind of would look off and wouldn't look directly at you. So
that's what the bile does.
Yeah.
It's like toxic in your body. And I have to like push it out my intestines to get it up. Cute, right? Maybe like maybe less than a week out of my surgery, still throwing up, still not eating. I'm eating baby food at this point because it's just mushy and I can just like swallow it down, but I still couldn't even eat a lot of that. I still have gastritis, which is something that I had gotten a little bit before when I was in the other hospital. So the acid was like eating my stomach pretty much because I had acid reflux, but I was too scared to swallow the pills because of my potassium level was low, which causes spasms, and for me it caused them in my throat, which caused my throat to squeeze. I don't know if I already said that. Sorry if I repeat things twice. My mind is still coming to. So sometimes I repeat myself. But anyways, hi, I'm Tom. I think that's, let me know if you know what movie that's from. But anyways, so whew. It's still a little bit hard to talk about, but so I go to another hospital. This is a new hospital, and this was the best hospital I've ever been to. If it wasn't like dangerous, I would go ahead and tell you, but if you know me and you live near where I live and you need a good hospital to go to or a recommendation, I will go ahead, like message me or something. I will give you the recommendation because this hospital was amazing. I was in there twice, 2 different occasions, and this hospital that I went to saved my life, and I'm not even exaggerating. No, they actually saved my life. So I go to that hospital, they do a lot of scans on me. I have to stay like for a week at a time, and that sucks. You don't want that. And that's what I'm saying. It's important to keep yourself healthy. I know I'm just keep interrupting to give you guys advice, but it's just things that I've learned, things that come to my head as we go. But it's important to keep yourself healthy, to eat healthy, to drink water, to drink healthy things. You know, don't indulge too much in soda and fast food and all of that, because your gallbladder can actually go bad from eating fast food and bad things and too many bad things and smoking cigarettes and, you know, tobacco product. You don't want to push your body to a place where it's scary to go. So yeah, your gallbladder can go bad from too much alcohol as well. So just be mindful. And not every time that someone's gallbladder goes bad does it get this bad. But if it explodes and you don't catch it in time, you can get gangrene, which can actually just kill you, like, be done without getting to the hospital. I got to the hospital just in time. I mean, everything got done just in time, like in the nick of time, right before I was about to just go. And I don't mean that lightly. I mean that like you need to take care of your body. You need to go to the doctor. If something doesn't feel right, go. I'm paying so much money right now just because I went to so many hospitals, but it's worth it because I'm here. So anyways, back to when I went to the hospital, the best hospital. So I go there, they make sure my levels are all good, they get me all leveled. They give me a lot of medicine to get my pancreatitis down. They give me a lot of medicine to get my gastritis down, to get the acid down. So gastritis, for people who don't know, for me it was my stomach was inflamed because I had so much acid from not eating. Because your acid and your bile don't stop producing once you're not eating anymore. It still produces and it burns your stomach because it has nothing else to eat. So it will actually start to eat your stomach, and that's what happened to me. So that's why I was throwing up so much also after my surgery. Before it was the bile, after it was a little bit of bile and then a lot of acid. And it sucks. Trust me, you do not want to throw up acid. It hurts your throat really bad. My tonsils get inflamed now. The roof of my mouth would get like blisters from throwing up acid, which I still have a few, and I haven't thrown up in probably like a week and a half, something like that. I don't know, time is kind of like off for me, But I want to say that's how long I've been out of the hospital, like a week and a half to 2 weeks. So at this point, when I get to this hospital, I weigh less than 110 pounds, which is 35 pounds down. And they just keep putting bile in me. I mean, not bile, excuse me, potassium. If I can figure out how. I promise you, they're barking at nothing. This hospital, they get my levels up. They tell my mom, like, hey, you know, like, she can't come home. She has to stay here with us. We have to keep her alive. Like, if she goes home, she will not make it overnight. So I stay at this hospital. I'm there for a long time. Great place, just not fun when nobody can visit hospitals. So they let my mom come in for an hour every day that she could. You had visitation, and I was in like the ICU type of unit. Just horrible place to be. People losing their lives all around you. It's just a bad place to be. So they gave me a lot of potassium. They just keep pumping it into me. It keeps dropping every day, probably 5 times a day. I have my blood drawn. That's what I was saying. If I can find any pictures, or I mean, if I could figure out how to put my pictures on here, I will go ahead and insert a picture of what my arms looked like. I looked like I did heavy drugs through my veins, like heroin or something like that. And my face was like super sunken in, which I'll insert footage of that. I couldn't walk by myself. I could barely breathe. When I was at home and in the hospital, I had to have a walker to get around, but I still had to walk every day, at least 3 times a day, because of my gallbladder surgery. So they did everything they could, and I had a nurse, and her name is McKenna. I don't think anyone can figure anything out by me telling you my nurse's name. And if you ever watch this, McKenna, I doubt she'll ever see this anyways, but really it was you that saved my life, that made me feel something, because I couldn't feel anything at that point. My brain was completely just cut off, like shut down. I was alert. I could answer some questions, not all of them. But as far as feelings and just like the will to fight another day, it was not there. I would say sorry, but I'm not sorry. But you, McKenna, you really helped me a lot. I developed anxiety through all of this, as you can imagine, which I've never dealt with before. Panic attacks, anxiety, any of that. It's a bitch if you have to deal with it. I'm so sorry. But I would have bad panic attacks. They would give me so much medicine too that would make me feel loopy, would make me feel like I couldn't control my breathing. It was just things that they had to give me. And she would stay there with me if she was my nurse for the day, which she was for most of it. And she would just hold my hand. She would hold my hand and she would just talk me through it. And she would tell me random things, like about her ex-boyfriend and stuff, just funny stuff. She was a year younger than me, or like a few months younger than me. Actually, she had a birthday while I was in there, and we got her a present and everything. But she really helped me like get that will back to want to like live again and eat, and just like push myself to do things I was so scared to do, because I could tell that she cared. And you know, nurses are so great. Like, it's so crazy the things that they see every day, and they come back to work the next day. I would never. the things that I saw were just freaked me out so bad, and I wasn't even their nurse. And so I can't imagine actually being in that room and seeing people, you know, just like take their last breath or like about to, and like having to tell them and tell the parents, and the nurses that had to tell me when I was about to pass away twice in that hospital. It takes a lot of courage to do that, and a lot of care to sit with someone while you're telling them that they might not make it overnight. So thank you to all the nurses, but especially thank you to McKenna. She really changed like everything for me. So I thought I wasn't gonna cry. I haven't cried a lot since I got out of the hospital, which my mom said is like really weird, but I'm just now starting to get emotions back, so sometimes I cry and laugh at the same time. It's really weird. Like last night that happened to me. I ate too much edamame, too much salt, and it woke up some parts of my brain, I guess, and I started crying and laughing at the same time, then ended up almost hyperventilating, which is something else that happened before I went to this hospital. I had a hyperventilation, which is so scary. If you've ever had one, it's so scary. But yeah, so during all that, it was just a lot. Honestly, a lot of it is a blur to me. My mind, like I said, just wasn't there. I can remember some parts. My mom tells me some things. I can look back at pictures and I don't really remember taking them, but they kind of tell a story themselves, and I can kind of remember the feeling that I had at the moment. Even though I didn't have like emotions, you still have like chemicals in your body that are emotions. Sorry, my camera turned off again. But anyways, that's the heart of the story. You know, that's mostly what happened. My potassium dropped too low. That's why I almost passed away twice. Potassium is so important. Actually, people are supposed to have 3,500 milligrams or something like that of potassium a day, which I asked my doctor, he was like, nobody gets that much potassium. So I felt a little bit better about that, because I'm like, geez, a banana has like, I think 400 to 500 milligrams of potassium. So you would have to eat so much potassium, but too much can kill you, which is crazy too. Too little can kill you, too much can kill you. Just, I think if you're on a normal diet and you don't eat like shit every day, you'll be fine. So yeah, I want to give you guys an update, to not leave you on a sad note, or like in a place where it's like, geez, how is depressing. Now I feel like I'm sad. I'm doing a lot better. I've gained weight, probably like 8 to 10 pounds maybe. My scars are healing. I will show you that in a second from where I had my surgery. I'm able to stay home alone. I eat a lot now. Actually, my brother said I eat like a linebacker, but I just want to make sure I never get back to that place. I still have very high anxiety. But I do take medicine for that. And also next week is my last week of taking my PPI, which is my medicine for my gastritis. So yay, I'll just be down to my anxiety medication, which I'll need for a while. My mind is starting to come back awake. I have emotions, I have memories, so a lot of that's starting to wake up. My body, I feel it tingling a lot. I'm still very numb in my legs and my stomach, but I had to be put under anesthesia twice. I didn't tell you guys this part, but I went to see a gastritis and I had to have a endoscopy done, which they had to put me under for that, and then of course my surgery. And I went to an ENT, ears, nose, and throat doctor. Just some things that I just kind of left out that I didn't think of in the moment. Like I said, my mind is still coming awake. I'm still trying to think of things as I go, or, you know, just remember things. Sometimes I think with trauma, which is what I experienced, your mind kind of shuts off parts of that. But I'm doing better. I still have days when I'm like, can't believe it, and it's super overwhelming every day, but I'm doing better now. So you can make it through anything. your body will be there for you. If you go to the right doctor, they'll be there for you. And if you have the right mindset, it'll really get you through it. So as promised, y'all shall see my scars and my body. You can kind of see it now. This camera wants to fall so bad, but it was staying up the whole time. Like, what the heck? Okay, so these pants are a little bit loose, but you can kind of see I got some meat back on my bones. And okay, bad angle. Can't really see nothing. I'm trying here. Okay. Hello, got you off the chair. Okay. So here are my scars. Can kind of see them up close here. There are 4 of them. And they are healing pretty nicely, actually. One of them, I think this one, you can barely see it anymore. So, focus. I think I will have a little bit of scarring, but hopefully they'll go away. Hopefully I can get something to kind of get it down, but for now, I embrace them. I don't care. It's fine, they're just scars. But yeah.